So I'm gonna share some stories with you here today, and I'm gonna literally just put it out there as if we're sitting on my couch or my floor in my beauty room in my office. I literally have my squishmallow here. I'm gonna sit and cuddle it, and I'm cramping like crazy today, which is what sparked me to do this, and my hair is a mess, but you know what? You're getting me for me right now. And I checked my little calendar on my phone, and apparently tomorrow is the day, is the red dot day. I am by far not an expert in this field. I'm not a doctor. I'm an esthetician. I deal with skin. I don't deal with girl parts, other than the fact that I have one. I have a daughter who's 9, and she'll be going into this in the next few years. Oh, that gives me weird, creepy feelings. Okay, so we're just gonna like have girl chat today, and we're gonna talk about menstrual cups. I never in a million years thought I would be using something like this, especially as somebody who is like been traumatized by tampons on multiple occasions, and perhaps we'll touch on that. But I get my period. I don't know if you know this, but I'm a girl, and I bleed once a month. I do currently have an IUD. I have the copper one, the Paragard, to confuse sperm. It's so awkward to talk about on the internet. Okay, we'll leave that at that. I don't like doing hormones. My body does not react well to hormones before the thyroid thing, after the thyroid thing. If you're not up to par with my thyroid, I don't have one. I have a whole series that you can watch and get caught up on that, so I'm not going to talk about that in this video. Although a lot of that kind of regulates your girl stuff, so yeah. So I'm on a hormone-less birth control. That means it's up to my body to keep it together. I am a pretty regular person when it comes to that. I don't have crazy, terrible periods anymore. I did like a couple years back. They were super heavy, super painful. Now they're just kind of like normal, last about 4 or 5 days. I track it in my phone just because I like being mindful, and I like knowing what's going on in my body. I do want to get one of those like little bracelets. I think it's called the Ava bracelet, just to like track all the things. I find that really fascinating. So let's get back on topic and talk about menstrual cup. What even got me into thinking about this was watching a video by Samantha Ravindal. I will link her video if I'm able to put a card, or definitely in the description box down below. She did a whole, like, I don't even want to say series, but she did several videos talking about different menstrual cups, and I went off her recommendation and purchased the Saalt one. So this is the one and only cup that I have ever purchased or tried. Just to reiterate, I have not tried any of the other ones on the market. This is only one. And I decided to get the gray one. I wanted the soft version versus the regular. And I did get the regular size versus the small size. I think there's like 2 different sizes. And how I came about that decision was on the Saalt website. I think I could put this down. You know what it looks like. We'll talk about that in a minute. On the Saalt website, they have lots of different resources. I think they even have like a little quiz that you can fill out to kind of choose what type of cup you want to go for, what size you need, and what sort of strength. Again, I got the soft one because I was terrified. So what even got me thinking, even after watching Sam's video, that like I wanted to do a cup, like get a cup and do that life. I had a horrifying experience with a tampon where I went to remove and nothing came out except the string. And it had broken apart into like a million pieces. So again, I told you we were gonna have some TMI stories here, and I was absolutely horrified. Like just, yeah, I don't wanna dive any deeper into it, but that was when I kind of like put my foot down and I was like, I need to try something else. I have been making small efforts to be a bit more conservative in my life, not using as many plastic bags or not purchasing as many cotton gauze or cotton swab type of product. And it kind of clicked in my brain, like, what if I finally got rid of the tampons and tried something out like this? Now, what scared me about this was the insertion and removal. I mean, not the actual wearing it, but the me part, the working part. And the reason is that the first time I ever used a tampon, I was like 15, and I was so nervous, and I didn't think I was doing it right, and I started freaking out because that's the type of person I am. I overthink everything, and I fainted. Like, that is so embarrassing to admit, but like, that's how nervous and how wound up I can get myself going when it comes to certain things. Reference my anxiety videos to dive a little bit deeper into that. But yeah, so I mean, I had since used tampons for like 15 more years, you know, like I'm 32 this year, so I'm pretty well versed in the period department. And I was like, you know what, I can do it. Suck it up, Michelle, get the soft version, because then I could feel like it's gonna be like extra squishy, because if anything, I could just dive up there and squish it out if something happened. I mean, it's not like your body's gonna like suck it. It can't go anywhere. I guess my other thing was a tampon is like that much around, whereas this is like that much around. And like, I know I've had kids and all, but like, really? So that kind of freaked me out. I was like, how does it like fit? And all of that was answered during my first application. I wrote myself some notes in case you see me looking down. If I didn't mention this already, this is going to be my 4th or 5th, I'm gonna say 5th period using a cup. I purchased this, I wanna say September or October of 2019, and it is now March of 2020, end of March. So I have used this quite a bit. I have traveled with it. I have gone to the gym in it. Let's talk about the first application, because if you're new to cups, that's why you're watching this, I want you to feel what I was feeling on that first time, okay? And then we could talk about what I think after. This is what I wrote. Like, literally after I went to the restroom, I like ran to my phone and wrote down little notes. I said, wow, that was easier than I thought. I noticed that if I didn't push it up far enough, it feels like when you have a tampon that's ready to go, ready to come out, where it's a little bit low hanging. Sorry. That like you need to just not be afraid. You need to get the cup up in there. Okay, it will come out. You will be able to get it. I promise you. Like I said, your body doesn't like suck it up into your stomach or anything. Like, you have a cervix wall. It's not going anywhere. I wrote down that I wore it overnight that first time, and when I woke up, it had kind of traveled up a little bit higher in my vagina, and I had to kind of like really dig in there to get it. It wasn't difficult. I just noticed that it was a little bit higher, closer to my cervix than when I originally inserted it. These are all, like, my eye is twitching. I feel weird talking about, I don't know, why is it weird to talk about this stuff? Okay. And yet I'm not that terrible shy, because I'm sharing this all with the internet. So more on my notes, I wrote my first day at work. I said only once did I have to go to the restroom to push it back up a little further. Otherwise, I totally forgot I had my period. You heard that. I had forgotten that on day 2, that's like usually your strongest day, that I forgot I had my period. That is huge, other than maybe a little bit of cramping here or there or anything like that. But usually if I'm busy and like moving around like at work and stuff, I'm not like thinking about it too much. That's pretty awesome. And then I didn't have to worry about going and changing a pad or a panty liner or a tampon or anything like that throughout my 8-hour shift. Because you can leave this in for, I think it's 8 hours. I only leave it in for like about 6, to be honest with you. That's where my safe zone, unless it's overnight, then I just have it in overnight. But I'm not too strict about like, oh my gosh, it's been 8 hours, gotta go. I think if you don't leave it in there for over 12 hours, just me personally, I'm sure they have some manufacturer details over on the Saalt website. Definitely reference that. Again, not a doctor. I think you're okay. You know, as long as you don't forget that it's in there and you need to cleanse it out, clean it out and all that. Okay, this one is funny, this note. I wrote, I wore it to the gym, day 3. And initially I was paranoid that I was going to poop it out while doing my squats. Turned out great. Did not happen. These are the weird thoughts that my brain goes through. Is like, I went to go do like I remember I was like doing a lunge / squat movement, and I was like, I literally like am terrified it's gonna like pop out. And even if it did, it's in your pant, like it's not going to. But like if it did, nobody's gonna know except me. Okay, another note on here was that I wore it on a heavier day at a different period. And I worked for about 6 hours walking around all day before I felt like I needed to like refresh it. And by refresh it, removal, rinsing it out, cleaning it out, reinserting. I was a bit crampy that day. I wrote down 2. So heavy flow, I definitely was more at the 6-hour mark where I felt like I'm like, ooh, I need to refresh things. And then I wrote best invention ever, question mark. Best investment in myself ever, question mark, probably. This is not terribly cheap. I want to say it's like $20 or $30. Again, I'm sorry, I bought this several months ago, so I don't remember off the top of my head, and I probably should have looked. I will leave some links to the products that I specifically purchased in the description box down below. Those are affiliate links, so feel free to click them. And if you make a purchase, then I earn a commission. But if you aren't into that, then definitely use them to like reference the product, and then you can click away or something. I don't know. Like, this seriously has been a mind-blowing experience using this, and I'm not sponsored. They don't even know who I am. This has seriously been absolutely life-changing. That's a really strong statement to make. I think the only time I ever feel annoyed or like, oh, this is so annoying, is when I haven't put it in properly, if I didn't put it in all the way. And you will pretty much know right away when that's happening, and you need to kind of like give yourself a moment and be like, okay, be patient, fix it. It's not that difficult. I'm sometimes busy / lazy, and I need to just like slow down and do it right the first time. So in the little package, when you get your Saalt cup, at least the one that I got, there was this cute little storage baggie, so I keep it in here when it is like dry and I'm not having my period. And you could always throw it in your purse if you need to bring it with you, if you feel like you're gonna need it on the go, or if you're traveling or something like that. And yeah, so it looks like this. Boil it. I've been touching mine so much, so I'm definitely gonna boil it before using it tonight, and clean it out, and you'll be ready to use it. Now, to insert it, there's a little booklet that comes in the package that you get with your Saalt cup, and it'll show you different ways that you can kind of fold and mold this to make it as comfortable of an insertion as possible. My personal favorite way of doing this is like a little, like I'll have it like this. Look at how bendy it is. See, like it's not gonna hurt you. It does not hurt by far. And you just kind of like squeeze it in like this, stick it up, let go. The one thing I do is I make sure to squeeze the bottom, because sometimes this piece doesn't pop open all the way, and it'll be kind of like crinkled a little bit, or at least that's what I think is happening in there. So I'll make sure I squeeze this little bulb right here, and it'll suction up and around my area in there. I do try to get in again as high as possible for it to be as comfortable as possible. Otherwise, sometimes I feel this end right here, and that drives me insane. It might not drive you insane. It drives me insane. You can cut it, but then I'm afraid that I won't be able to grasp it when I need to remove it. So removal, you might be like, okay, I got it in there. I'm proud of myself. I've worn it all day. It's been super comfortable. Now I got to take it out. Over the toilet or in the shower. Believe me, probably in the shower if you're ready to like take your shower for the night and go on. Okay. You're going to reach up. You're going to squeeze the bottom because it breaks the suction. See how it went from circle to little oval, and remove. Trying to keep it as parallel to the floor as possible. This is a key. This is key. Because other times when I've been like too tired or lazy / busy, I've gone to like take it out. Again, it's not uncomfortable by far, unless you don't like pinch it. And even sometimes I just pinch the very tip, like if it's up in there pretty good, I only get like a little bit of a pinch going. And that's enough to break the seal, and it's not painful to remove it, but sometimes I kind of like, oh, awkward, and it gets everywhere. So don't do that. Make sure you try to keep it as parallel to the floor as possible. Rinse it out. Use your cleanser. If I haven't talked about this already, I went ahead and purchased the Saalt cup wash. It just made me feel more comfortable that I was using something that was specifically made to clean the silicone. And I do boil it in between each of my menstrual cycles, before and after, just to make sure it is like disinfected and like clean and junk. But yeah, I like this cleanser. Tiny little bit, foams up, because sometimes I'll like rinse it out, put it on the side of the sink, which is okay because I'm about to clean it. I'll get my soap, I'll get it all sudsy, clean it up, and then I'll put it in my bag for safekeeping and cleanliness, or I'll just reinsert and go from there. You can go swimming in it. I don't think I've tried. Have I tried swimming in it? I don't think so. So I may have to do a pinned comment as we get into the hotter months here. Because I don't think we've gone swimming since September. I have traveled with it. I have gone where I wasn't home for a couple of days and brought my cup with me, and it was delightful. And I kind of forgot I had my period. I guess that's the biggest statement here is with tampons, you have a constant reminder every like 2 to 3 hours that you have your period because you need to go and change. At least for me, like they get like so heavy and uncomfortable that I'm like, it's touching me. So I have to go and change it. Whereas with the cup, I get to about 6 to 8 hours before I feel that way. Trying to think if there's anything I'm forgetting that you may want to know when starting to use a cup. Sometimes I don't wear it to sleep, like towards the end of my period when it's a little bit lighter. I don't feel like I need it at night, and I kind of want it to like breathe a little bit down, and that's not like a thing, but like, I don't know, I just usually put a little panty liner. I do personally still wear a panty liner with this. It gives me peace of mind. I don't think I've ever actually had to ever use it, unless the one time that I was stupid and I didn't go back up and it was still kind of crinkled and I could feel it, but I ignored it. And I should have gone back in and done my little squishy, but I was rushing and I did get a little bit of runoff. What's the word I'm looking for? Discharge? No, we'll run with runoff. I like that word a little bit better. In my underwear, and luckily I had been wearing a panty liner. So then that was my sign to like stop being stupid, go into the bathroom, fix it, and then I was fine. I can't think of anything else to talk about. So if there's anything I left out, if you have questions, please feel free to DM me if you're feeling a little bit shy, and I'll try to answer them. Leave a comment down below if you're like, maybe somebody else has that same question, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Especially with everything going on in the world, at least at the time of filming this. I know I was in Walmart doing a grocery run the other day, and there was no feminine care products to be found. So this would be the perfect opportunity, especially with being home, to try something new out where you don't have to be worried about having a leak or anything like that. Again, I have not had that issue other than that one time where I did not insert it properly. And I'm telling you, if I can do this, if I can use this, the girl who fainted using tampons for the first time, and I did not faint using this ever. You can do this, okay? Maybe start off with the soft one like I did. Maybe be brave and go with the regular one. I know there's a lot of other brands out there. This is just the one that I decided to try first, and I've really liked it. So I think I'm going to stick with this one until something happens. But thank you so much for watching this and being here with me. Thank you for letting me tell my stories and not get too grossed out, hopefully. I will, again, leave all of the description box links, all the links in the description box down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!